Sometimes in an exam, you get the situation that an opening balance sheet is given. But the opening balance sheet is not just a debit entry in the cash bank account and a credit entry in issued capital, but it is a balance sheet that has been prepared in a previous accounting period. Your task might be to start the bookkeeping entries, but you do not have the accounts from the previous accounting periods. Therefore, you must derive from the balance sheet the opening values for the accounts. I'll show you in this video how this will be done. I use the online materials to the chapter 23, which is the task Bravo 23.1.
I'm Carsten Berkau, full accounting professor in Osnabrück. My BasicsClips will help you to understand international bookkeeping.
In the case study NATRUP Limited, a balance sheet is given already. So we see the statement of financial position as at the 31st of December in 2005. All the amounts are given in euros. If we want to start our bookkeeping work, we have to transfer the data from the balance sheet to our accounts. On the whiteboard, we can see already NATRUP's balance sheet as at 31st of December in 2005. Our task is now to prepare the accounts for the accounting period 2006. In contrast to the German system, we do not need any Eröffnungsbilanzkonto, which would be an opening value account. We simply copy the figures from our balance sheet to our accounts. For example, we start with the equity account. In the equity account, which we might call the issued capital account, we notice that the opening value will be 50,000. For retained earnings, we record 70,000. And for the income tax liabilities, we enter 30,000. On the debit side, we get a little bit of a problem, as we only see property, plant and equipment, which is the difference between the initial cost of acquisition and the accumulated depreciation. This requires that we take a look at the register of the non-current assets. If no register of non-current assets is provided, we take the value 12,000 and enter it into the property, plant and equipment account. In this case here, we pretend that we got a register of the non-current assets and that the cost of acquisition for the items of property, plant and equipment add up to 20,000. Accordingly, accumulated depreciation must be 8,000. In the case study, it doesn't matter, as depreciation for the accounting period 2006 is given by the task. In the current asset section, we have to record an inventory account. The opening value is 23,000. This results from 575 glasses multiplied with 40 euros. That gives us 23,000. The item cash bank is taken from the balance sheet and we record the opening value to the extent of 115,000. For NATRUP Limited, we got the following balance sheet. We start with the first item. For the task Bravo 23.1, it doesn't matter how much is the item on property, plant and equipment and accumulated depreciation, as the depreciation for the task is given to be 2,000. However, we pretend that we got a register of non-current assets where we will find the initial cost of acquisition to the extent of 20,000, which is to be added on the debit side of the property, plant and equipment account. The opening value for the 1st of January in 2006 for accumulated depreciation on the sales equipment is 8,000. We record these two accounts. Next, we take care of our inventories. Inventories in this case is only one item, which is sunglasses. So there will be 575 sunglasses at 40 euros cost of purchase. We record this in an inventory account. In the cash bank account, we see there are 115,000 euros. We record this on the debit side of the cash bank account. The next item on the balance sheet is share capital. In retained earnings, we find 70,000. Our last item on the balance sheet is income tax liabilities. Now, our first bookkeeping entry might be to transfer the income tax liabilities to the revenue service. Make the bookkeeping entry 1, 30,000. That's a debit entry in the income tax liabilities account, and we credit the amount to the cash bank account. This way, our bookkeeping work has already commenced. We can make all the bookkeeping entries as required in the task Bravo 23.1.
Now that you have seen the video, take the textbook and study the case.